We're downtown Houston as the Angels enjoyed their off day yesterday here in the Lone Star State, and yet they're going to face the Houston Astros. The first place Houston Astros tonight is game one of a four-game series, and they will have their hands full with Justin Verlander on the mound. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West. Along with Mark Gubiza, I'm Victor Rojas, and Justin Verlander's had a fantastic season. As a matter of fact, the 1-2 combination of Verlander and Garrett Cole has been spectacular, but Justin, he looked like his old self the last time out on Saturday against the Angels.
Yeah, Victor once again throwing a really good game against the Angels. Take a look at our Old Dominion bringing their best. Justin Verlander, his last 6 starts against the Angels, he's really been able to ride that fastball upper part of the strike zone. 6-0 with an ERA just barely over 1. 43 innings pitched, 48 strikeouts for Verlander. That four-seam fastball has been great. The breaking ball has been solid. Pace always very good with Justin Verlander. Did see a couple home runs, though, especially Shohei Ohtani on a changeup last time out. Shohei Ohtani back in the lineup against Verlander again tonight.
And we got some more news on Albert Pujols and Shohei Ohtani. We'll talk about that in game. We're going to step away for a moment. When we return, we're going to focus in on Ted Williams today, the 100th anniversary of his birth. We'll talk about Ted Williams and much more when we come back. Opportunity with a redesigned exterior and 31 Highway MPG. Test drive one today. By Mercury Insurance, we're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Welcome back out to Minute Maid Park. Game one of a four-game set between the Angels and the Houston Astros. We mentioned going to break to Ted Williams. Today would have been 100 years old, and what a career the Hall of Famer had. Just look at the numbers: 344 career batting average, 521 home runs. That 521st hit on the very last at-bat at home at Fenway Park in his career back in 1960. 2 MVPs, 2 Triple Crowns, 18-time All-Star, and of course, the famous 406 batting average. Gooby, how did he do it with that swing?
Well, when you look at what he said, take a look at our tools of trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. It was so important for Ted Williams. It was all about clearing those hips, getting those hips in that good position, clear him out of the way, and use his hands. He had such a quick hands to get through the baseball with those hips opening up, brings his hands through the baseball so well, catching that baseball out in front, and also creating that launch angle. We talk a lot about launch angles, but he was one of the first really to go out there and perfect that for 521 home runs for Ted Williams.
Speaking of launch angles, see if the Angels can launch him against Justin Verlander. We're just about ready for baseball here in Houston. Sit back, relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. On all new Hyundai vehicles, see your Hyundai dealer today. By Carl's Jr., the Western Bacon Cheeseburger is calling your name, little buddy. Pick it up. And by your Southern California Cadillac dealers. Welcome back out to Minute Maid Park, the opener of a 4-game set between the Halos and the Houston Astros. There's a number of things that we could talk about. We're going to focus in on Albert Pujols because during the off day yesterday, it was announced that Albert had knee surgery, and he is going to be out for the remainder of the season. Gooby, and we didn't see anything. I mean, there wasn't as if there was one particular play or situation where you thought maybe there's something wrong with Albert. He's actually had to play last week when he rolled over at first base, looked fine, so that his season comes to an end after the surgery.
Yeah, you know, knowing Albert the way he is, the way he wants to go out there and compete, you know there was some significant discomfort for him to go in for surgery at this moment because he battled through so many different things throughout his whole career, especially by when he's put on that Angel uniform.
The Angels activated Justin Upton, also brought up Jose Briseño since the Atlanta Braves claimed Rene Rivera, so he is now an Atlanta Brave. Let's take a look at the lineup for Mike Scioscia. Game number 134 on the season. The Angels at 64 and 69. We'll have Calhoun leading things off in right, Fletcher at second, Mike Trout at center, Justin Upton back in left field. Remember, he had the laceration on his index finger on his left hand in Arizona, but he is back in the lineup. Shohei Ohtani DHing, Andrelton Simmons is short, Francisco Garcia behind the plate, Taylor Ward at third. Caleb Cowart tonight gets a start at first base. Take a look at our SoCal Chevy starting pitcher. It's Houston Astros, I guess you can say ace. He's the veteran, 28 starts this year, and it's Justin Verlander on the mound.
Yeah, we talked about in the opening how well he has thrown over his last 6 starts versus the Angels. My go-to, though, to be successful against him today here, especially at home where he's not pitched real well throughout this entire season, but you have to put yourself in position to lower that fastball in the strike zone. When he elevates, runs that 4-seamer just above the strike zone, he'll get a lot of swing and miss, but bring it down, becomes a lot more hittable. You see what Andrelton Simmons, and of course you see what Shohei Ohtani is able to do. Bring that pitch down in the strike zone. If he elevates and you chase, it's going to be a long night against Verlander.
Take a look at the Infinity defense for the Houston Astros. Gonzalez, Springer, Reddick in the outfield. The infield with Bregman and Correa on the left side. Altuve and Gurriel on the right side. And Martin Maldonado behind the plate.
And George Springer back out in center field for the Astros. 7 outfield assists, is 1 error this season. It's his 64th game in center field. He's also played a bunch of games in right field for the Astros this season, though, but very good as far as going back on the baseball. He can make that spectacular play and a strong throwing arm, especially when he charges.
This Astros team has committed just 54 errors on the year, so they will certainly catch the ball. They can certainly pitch it. We saw it with the last weekend when the Astros came to the Big A and swept the Halos. The Angels have one more visit here. It'll be the second to last weekend of the season. A 3-game series against Houston. Cole ready to go, as is Verlander. Angels out on the road this year, 5 games under 500 at 30 and 35. They're 2 games under within the division. Angels at 24 and 26. Verlander's first one tonight. Fouled back. Cole, we've seen that from him here of late, jumping on first pitch fastballs.
And that was a good fastball to drive the other way, too. In this ballpark, it was a lower part of the strike zone. What we said the hitters are going to try to do against Verlander this evening.
Cole hitting .225, 17 home runs and 51 runs batted in. Halos coming off a series split with the Colorado Rockies. Won on Monday, lost on Tuesday. Flew overnight to Houston Tuesday night. Catching up on their sleep yesterday during that off day.
Sleep?
It's overrated.
Yes.
Right? That's your favorite saying?
Yes.
Sleep when you're dead?
Yes. Plenty at that point.
0-2. Cole skies one foul. This one on the first base side near the rafters. And it'll go out of play.
3 straight fastballs. 94, 94, 95.
Verlander, that start out Saturday in 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, allowed 2 walks, striking out 6, picking up his win. Back-to-back victories for him. Cole will strike out. Cole's had some issues throughout his career against Verlander, has had many. It was the first out of the game.
And it's 3 now for 35 in his career against Verlander for Cole Calhoun. That's his 20th strikeout against him also. Slider, even though he didn't get that slider down in a position where Cole was unable to make good contact with it.
Here's David Fletcher, .278 average with a home run and 22 runs batted in. Look at a strike. Here's Hederstrom calling the balls and strikes tonight. He's the crew chief. Eric Cooper at first. Ramon De Jesus at second. Stu Sherwater over at third. Outfield straight around. Not a whole lot of shifting going on with Fletcher at the plate. Breaking ball, and that's hit over to Bregman, catches it in the air. 2 down. On a breaking ball and hit it off the end of the bat.
Talked about that real good defense for the Astros, and Alex Bregman's been very good at third base. Even though he has a few errors this season, he covers a lot more ground than most third basemen will.
Nobody on for Trout. Back at .311. 31 home runs and 62 runs batted in. 0 for 3 on Tuesday night's game. The Angels had 6 hits against Colorado. This was fouled back. I was facing the left-hander, Freeland.
Let's take a look at our Hyundai key for this game today for the Angels to be successful against the Astros and Justin Verlander. A little Bruce Springsteen, little glory days. We're talking so many outstanding players in this game, and going back even with Ted Williams, Mike Trout, a couple home runs in his career versus Verlander.
Slow breaking ball drops in there.
Also a couple hits the last time out when they face each other. First time he has gotten base hits against him. The other 2 hits were home runs against Verlander.
2 quick outs. Upton's on deck. 0-2 to Trout. Outside. One underlying story, if you will. We'll see if it evolves at all here during this weekend series. Is the whole back and forth with the beanballs that happened to occur last weekend. I don't imagine there'll be any carryover, but you never know. That's off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Going back to Altuve being hit by Justin Anderson and Shohei Ohtani being drilled by Osuna. And Deck McGuire hitting Yuli Gurriel.
All this trying to establish the fastball in.
Just got away from it.
Yep.
Tends to happen.
Go fastball away.
Full count.
See where he's trying to throw that 4-seam fastball. As far as spin rate on a 4-seam fastball, Verlander's at the top as far as spin rate on his 4-seamer.
Here's the 3-2. Breaking ball and draws the walk.
That was a pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
Verlander wanted it. Trout almost thought it might have been a strike.
Correa, Altuve, everybody else walking toward the dugout.
Trout's reputation of a great eye. That's a pretty tough take too when you think about it.
Watch Martin Maldonado take it downward though.
Yep.
That's one of those, if you anticipate that breaking ball and just catch it out in front a little bit more so.
Yeah.
Present it, if you will. Trout, of course, drawing the walk. 2-out variety. And here's Justin Upton.
He had a stolen base against Verlander earlier in the season.
Just that high fastball. Justin activated off the disabled list today. Replaces Pujols in the lineup, or I should say on the roster. You're saying to take it over for Rivera.
Former teammates with the Tigers. #104th walk of the season, by the way, for Trout. It's amazing numbers.
Easily leading the world. Jose Ramirez next. 86 at the start of the day. 0-1. But an overthrown fastball looked like.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier even go-tos as far as Verlander not as good, especially one loss record at home, 2-6. It's compared to 11-2 on the road. ERA 3.13 here at Minute Maid Park.
His 8th start since the All-Star break. Just been all right, 4-3, a 4.26 ERA. He and his teammate Garrett Cole 1-2 as far as strikeouts are concerned. What a season Garrett Cole has had. I think he almost nobody talks about him as far as a potential Cy Young candidate. Season for Sale is having. There's a lot of guys having a good season.
And we talked about the two of them earlier in the year, even last time in, how much I think Garrett Cole's learned from watching Verlander pitch, especially with his fastball. In that demeanor of you want to be in that game late. That's how you end up picking up those extra strikeouts. You're in that 7th and 8th and 9th inning.
Justin sees 3 fastballs, goes down swinging. The Halos down here in the first, we're at the bottom of the inning with no score. And a half game lead in the American League West at 82 and 51. And Springer will lead things off. He's in center field. Bregman's at third. Jose Altuve at second. Carlos Correa, the shortstop. Tyler White has been on fire since the All-Star break. He's at DH. Marwin Gonzalez in left field. Yuli Gurriel at first. Josh Reddick is at right. And Maldonado rounding out that starting nine. Andrew Heaney is on the mound. Well documented, Gooby, the struggles that he's had out on the road as far as being winless since 2015. Got to figure it out. And home, even the last couple starts, been a little not Andrew Heaney-like.
Yeah, and I think it's the feel for all of his pitches. Fastball, slider especially, and even his changeup. I didn't think he used his changeup as much as he had in the past last time out. I think that's going to be an important pitch, too, today.
First one is in there for a strike. First pitch brought to you by Capistrano Toyota. Springer swinging at the breaking ball.
It's a good slider.
The ball's 2 strikes. George hitting .252, 19 home runs, 61 runs batted in. Just back on a full-time basis. We saw him as a pinch hitter on Sunday. Last 3 games against Oakland. Back in the lineup regularly. He's 4 for 10 since returning. Double, 4 RBIs and 4 walks. Punch down the line, just foul. Count remains at 0-2.
That was a pretty good changeup, but he was looking away.
Astros just walked off on the Oakland A's yesterday afternoon. Took 2 of 3 from that series. They're done with their season series with the Oakland A's. They went 12-7 against Oakland. So the A's are going to need some help from different teams. A.J. Hinch, skipper, today rewarded with a 4-year contract extension. Press conference before the game. Springer cues this one out to shallow center field. You talk about perfect placement. 56, maybe a 58-degree wedge.
Yeah, you can't place that any better than that. My go-to, though, for Andrew to be successful here this evening, we saw a couple pretty good pitches already, is consistent slider mechanics. When he gets around the slider, that's where it gets flattened out over the middle part of the strike zone. But when he's on top of it, down and away, down and in, very good spot. And run that fastball on the hands of these Astros hitters. They'd love to get their arms extended. Get it right on the hands and see if you can jam them. Just like that flow flare into the outfield too, but you just got to keep pitching inside and using that slider, but stay on top of the baseball.
Alex Bregman had been batting the leadoff spot with Springer out of the lineup. He's done a nice job for them, filling in that spot. 10-game hit streak currently. .293 batting average, 25 home runs, 86 runs batted in. So it's 43 doubles. That's a new Astros record for third baseman. Who would you have guessed had the record before Bregman for doubles?
Caminetti?
Nope. That would be like the logical, right? Or maybe even like a Jeff Blum, since he's doing TV for the Astros. Sean Barry.
Oh, former Royal.
It's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Lumber's too busy hitting a home run hitting contest here.
That's right.
Sean Barry, he had a solid career here with the Astros. I'm going to always call him Walter.
Walter Barry. Heaney has it. Over to Simba for 1. And just like that, double play, 2 outs.
Textbook. Something that the Astros do quite a bit of is ground into a double play. And Andrew's always landing in very good fielding positions. Released the baseball, squared up right away. Knew exactly who he was going to throw the baseball to with the communication. There's a rate at the base. It easily completes a 1-6-3 double play.
131st double play the Astros have hit into this year. 14th time for Bregman. Gurriel's the leader with 21. Altuve hitting .327. 391 on base percentage. Some time on the disabled list this year for the first time in his career. This one's rolled to the left side. Ricochets off of Ward and Simmons. Altuve's going to try to go to second base. A throw by Simba. Quick tag. Got him.
That was all about the tag. They'll probably take a look at it. But what a quick throw and tag by Fletcher from Anderson Simmons. Hustling after the baseball. Light on that throw. See if he's able to apply the tag. It's going to be pretty close.
Pretty close. Still no decision yet by AJ Hinch. And the coaching staff looks like they're going to challenge it.
Thought they might have.
Going to Jesus with the out call. He'll head over with Gary Cederstrom.
That was a good throw by Simba and a quick tag by Fletcher.
Ball ricocheting off both Taylor Ward and Anderson Simmons.
A lot of umpires here at the stadium here today. Showing the replay here at Minute Maid Park. So close.
I think there it might look like he's out. If you're just gauging on the contact of the base, meaning the movement of that base.
I mean, there it is, the glove right there, and then the foot on the base. It's not as clear cut as it looks like at the fans here in the stands, especially when you get a close look at it.
Tag, then the foot hitting the base. I mean, that's how I see it.
Yeah. That's a big, I mean, for me, AJ Hinch, that's a wise decision. You have a guy in scoring position. And that's one thing about AJ Hinch. He said he's not afraid to use that challenge even in the first inning because you might not get a chance to use it later in the game.
Now it's safe. Call gets overturned. The man in scoring position with 2 outs.
And credit Jose Altuve for running hard and challenging that play. That's a quick tag by David Fletcher. Real good throw from Anderson Simmons. With a hustle into the outfield off of his glove and Taylor Ward.
Well, it's got to be a double then, right?
Yes.
They originally called it a single. So Correa bats with the man in scoring position. He'll take downstairs. .249 batting average for the Astros shortstop. 17 doubles, a triple. 14 home runs and 59 runs batted in. He's missed some time as well. Sore back.
You can see that 92 early on for Andrew Heaney. Correa 3 for 10 in his career versus Heaney.
One. 1-2.
Another good fastball. This is an important inning for Heaney and the Angels. Thought he was through the inning with a perfect relay in there from Simmons. From that outfield spot to David Fletcher, especially when you know you've had your troubles on the road. And you're facing Verlander, who had a solid first inning himself.
Ground ball, nice pitch in on the hands. Caleb broke to his right, able to get back to first base. Nothing happening for the Stros here in the first. We're off to the second with no score.
August 25th against Justin Verlander. He threw him a changeup in the dead center field. Home run for Shohei Ohtani. That's his first home run and only home run of the season versus the changeup. He's been quick on a fastball, but really good on that changeup from Verlander.
Shohei leading things off. Takes down and in. If I remember correctly, the following at bat, he saw some fastballs.
Yeah, even the double he had early in the game was on a changeup.
That's right.
He said nothing but fastballs, high fastballs after that.
275 batting average, 15 home runs, 43 RBIs. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 1-1. Here in Houston, we get the straightaway center field camera, so a little bit different angle right over the pitching mound. Rubber. Try to sit back a little bit and shoot it the other way.
It's always interesting when you have Maldonado catching and Shohei hitting there. They were really, really good friends from the get-go in spring training.
We're with us during the pregame show. Shohei Ohtani get the start on Sunday night here with the Astros. Garrett Cole will oppose him. One, two. He's off.
Probably around that 60 to 70 pitch limit.
Andrelton Simmons on deck. 2-2 from Verlander. Pull this one to the right side. Altuve to the backhand hazard. Gets out close to first. Sorry, hustling down the line. Still retired for the first out.
Well, that baseball was hit hard. That shows you how much speed Shohei Ohtani has going down the line. That ball's hit right on the nose. And Altuve with three infielders on that right side is able to get to that baseball. Gets up quickly, but Shohei real close. Beating that one out, thrown out by about a half a step. Solid play by the Gold Glover. Jose Altuve at second.
Andrelton Simmons steps in. We'll take down it in. Simmons hitting 293. That pitch is kind of giving him trouble. He's kind of out front a little bit. Hasn't quite had the timing this month that he had earlier this year. Off the plate.
Just watching from this angle right here, you know, his timing mechanism, that's two toe taps for Simba. Just hasn't quite got this timing. There's been some good swings, but he's been out in front, especially on some breaking balls. Just 4 for 22 in his career versus Verlander. But it's kind of odd that that would be the case because Verlander throws a lot of four-seam fastballs upstairs, and Andrelton Simmons really hits that fastball upper part of the strike zone well.
Foul off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andrelton has hit 244 since the All-Star break. Just a 266 on base percentage. It's kind of a tale of 2 seasons for him, but most of that has kind of occurred in August. First couple of weeks after the break, he's all right, but then this month, for whatever reason, especially the last
kind of, his hands are just getting way out in front. When you look at the numbers versus Verlander for fastballs as compared to his secondary pitchers, batting average, he's given up 17 home runs versus fastball, 230 batting average, just 184 versus his secondary pitches, 10 home runs. So when he's missed, especially in the lower part of his strike zone with his fastball, that's the pitch you can drive a long way.
Simba 4 for 7 in this ballpark this year. Gets underneath this one. Maldonado gets rid of the mask, hits Gary Cederstrom in the foot. 2 down. Cederstrom giving Maldonado a little grief. Get out of the way.
Yes. Give me my room. It's a battle of the hockey mask.
Who you got?
I'm going with Maldonado.
Machete. Cisco Garcia behind the plate tonight.
Oh, he still walks around with that shirt. Everything hurts shirt.
Yeah.
So.
Might be a little stained by now.
Yeah.
Saw it earlier this year. Francisco at 280. 3 home runs, 3 doubles. And fastball 0-2.
Just that plane he throws his fastball at Verlander. And he's got a lot of mileage when you think about pitches thrown, innings. Still challenges hitters in the upper part of the strike zone, because if you miss a little bit lower in that, that's when you're seeing that long ball against him.
Breaking ball pulled foul. Verlander, we mentioned, 35 years of age. First round pick back at 04 by the Tigers at Old Dominion. Wasn't that our sponsor?
Yes. Bringing his best.
Is our sponsor?
Yes.
Garcia goes down swinging. That's the second, pardon me, third strike down of the ninth for Verlander. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of inning number 2. New Rose. No score, bottom of the second. Tyler White, Marvin Gonzalez, Yuli Gurriel. A couple of hits allowed by Andrew Heaney, one of which was the double to Altuve, but no damage in that first inning. Faced Tyler White, the hero yesterday, the walk-off home run. He's the DH. Mentioned he's been hot since the All-Star break. Since then, he's hit .345 with 14 extra base hits, 22 RBIs, and an OPS of 1123.
He's getting some calls in that outside part of the plate. You got to stay there all day, force the hitters to go after that. Then you can run that fastball in like you did to Carlos Correa to finish off that last inning.
Especially with this lineup and what they've been able to accomplish against left-handed pitching this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Astros, for whatever reason, haven't hit well at home this year as a team. I mean, just a .246 batting average, 13th in the American League.
Those real good career numbers for Heaney against the Astros. 2.32 ERA, 2-1 record.
This Sent out to right center field. Count is there, but again, another pitch that was off the plate.
Yeah, an off-speed pitch.
One down.
Always good. You throw a fastball away, then an off-speed pitch away. Timing's off for a hitter.
Marwin Gonzalez back out at left field. He's had a nice month of August. He's at 300, 330 to be exact. Perhaps turning his season around. He's a free agent to beat. 21 doubles, 3 triples, 14 home runs. Take a slow break, the ball for a strike. Andrew like Verlander facing this team for the second consecutive start. Last 2 starts combined at Texas against the Rangers and then at home against the Astros. 11 runs, 18 hits, and 11 1/3 innings. Three starts ago, he had a pretty good start against San Diego, which was a bounce-back start. The struggles he had against the Tigers.
Remember how
he picked up the win against the Tigers at home. He gave up 5 runs in that one.
Remember how many changeups he threw? How many outs he got with changeups?
San Diego.
Yes,
yeah,
San Diego
very
got
good.
10.
I know that's a field pitch, but you would think that you'd be able to get that amount of success,
yeah.
especially if you got an aggressive type team. I'd consider the Astros a very aggressive type team.
They're generally putting the ball in play fairly quick in the bat.
Down goes Gonzalez. First strikeout of the night for Andrew. 2 down.
And encouraging. 94. Taking a page out of the book of Justin Verlander, a high 4-seam fastball upstairs. It's a swing and miss. Very difficult to catch up to that one.
Yuli Gurriel, the first baseman.
He is generally swinging first pitch.
Native of Cuba. The old adage with the Latin players from the islands. You can't walk your way off the island. You got to swing your way off. No balls, 2 strikes. Games on the docket throughout Major League Baseball on this Thursday night. A couple of finals already. 3 games starting later on the West Coast. As Gurriel hits one over to Taylor Ward in foul territory. And moving over, makes the catch. A 1-2-3 second inning for Andrew Heaney. We'll head to the 3rd with no score. Exclusive packages for you and your guests. Call 888-796-HALO or go to angels.com/suites for more details. 8-9-1 for the Angels here against Justin Verlander, who's picked up 3 strikeouts. He's issued 1 walk. Missed a Trout in the first. Ward, Cowart, and Calhoun. In the third inning, Taylor Ward had a strike. Average of 182. 8 for 44. 2 home runs. 6 runs batted in.
He missed a couple times with his curveball, though twice now. Looked like it got the lower part of the strike zone. This is another good curveball from Verlander. That's a lot of the strike zone.
Two one count.
Good patience there for Taylor Ward. See if you can look for a fastball away and line it in right field now.
Breaking ball, line to left. Long run over from Marwin Gonzalez. Taylor Ward is taking his time getting to second.
He's going to enjoy that second double of his career.
Thought for a second maybe he didn't realize where Gonzalez was at. Marwin, a shortstop by trade. Good arm.
This time that slider didn't get away, middle of the plate, and he hooks it right to left field for a double. He knew it all the way.
First hit of the night for the Angels. Caleb Cowart will come up. He's the first baseman.
This is one of those times you got to try to manufacture this run any way you can against Verlander. You get a mistake, drive it, but you're going to try at the very least hit something to the right side of the infield. Interesting to see this sequence by Verlander, especially with Cowart at the plate, if he's going to try to elevate everything, because it's going to be tough to, with a high fastball, to hit the ball on the ground on the right side of the infield. 7 of 9 first pitch strikes so far in the game for Verlander.
No balls, 2 strikes. That one right over the heart of the plate. Caleb hitting 145, 5 doubles, 2 runs batted in.
There's that fastball upstairs again. I think the pitch before was by design to be the same thing, but it ended up being in the middle of the plate.
Time called.
This is what makes Verlander special, because he knows what a hitter's trying to do. As a hitter, you're trying to hit something, at the very least on the ground on the right side of the infield. He's trying to go away from that strength by going upstairs with a fastball. More difficult to do that.
Not leaving up the count. Wrapping that one up to 96.
Imagine he's going to drop one of those sliders in at some point. Hopefully he'll get part of the plate where Caleb can get the barrel of the bat on it.
Back to that fastball in the inner part. Top of the order, Calhoun on deck. No score, we're in the third. Just getting their first hit. Taylor Ward double to lead off this frame. Long look hit for Verlander. Booth closed here at Minute Maid. Another hot day in Houston.
It's a good at bat worker now for Caleb. Hasn't chased any of those fastballs out of the strike zone,
which is easy to do, especially after you take those first 2, especially that second one. You're thinking, oh my gosh, don't mess up this at bat, at least move the runner over. He's got it to a full count now.
strike out on the high fastball. 1 down.
He didn't vary from his game plan in that entire at-bat. Let's take a look at our Kia drive to success. Speaking of strikeouts, and Verlander and Garrett Cole this season 1-2 as far as the leaders in the American League. Last 2 AL teams to do that in the last 30 years. 2012 Tigers featured Verlander and Scherzer. In 1990 Texas Rangers, Nolan Ryan and Bobby Witt, whose son is a very big prospect. But he's a potential first rounder next year.
Bobby Witt Jr.
Yep.
There's Cole. Struck out in the first. You know, those games where Verlander's got it going and the tempo picks up for him because he's got all of his pitches working. I'm sure you know what that was like. Had it all going. You couldn't wait to get your sign and go as Cole fouls it back 0-2.
At least for 1 inning a game. No, you really felt it. Even sometimes when you're warming up in the bullpen before you take the game mound, you may or may not have it. As soon as you get on the mound, you see the first swing against you, and all of a sudden, I got it working right now. I got a feel for all my pitches. Now it's just a matter of executing your game plan. Now hitters at times will make adjustments. So as a pitcher you do the same, and that's why it's important here for even the adjustment made, because that was a break ball he got called with last at bat. See if he makes the adjustment here.
Down and in.
Tried it again. This time he didn't go after it.
Verlander, a Hall of Famer to be. I mean, I would imagine with his numbers that he's put up already this year, or his career. 7-time All-Star, Cy Young MVP season in 2011.
Over 200 career wins now.
Back to that breaking ball.
And 300 wins for a career is going to be very difficult now in this day and age for starters. You get many opportunities to get in there deep in the game, and that's where a lot of those extra wins are going to add up for you as a starting pitcher.
Ward still at second base. Called.
A little slower pace for Verlander, especially with a runner on base. Long look in. Martín Maldonado as far as the sign being put down.
Now is that a product of a new catcher?
I think they worked enough, I would think, at this point together. Yeah, another step off, now a conversation.
Well, we saw a lot of conversations with Maldonado when he was with the Angels for his time. So what he may think should be the game plan versus what the pitcher feels and wants to do at that point. It certainly can differ throughout a game. And there's times where everybody is thinking. It just doesn't matter what you put down, and just go with it.
Well, the one thing for Maldonado when he's with the Angels, a lot of younger pitchers. Now you're dealing with a veteran and knows exactly what he wants to try to do. Even though you can have your feel for what sign you want to put down, Verlander is going to have that final decision as a veteran, especially.
Foul back. Back to the fastball upstairs. Halos with 1 hit, the Astros with 2. So one of those West Coast games later tonight. Seattle at Oakland. Seattle starting the day 5.5 back.
There's some real big games throughout all Major League Baseball tonight.
Cole hits one out to center. Springer moving over. Makes the catch. Ward will tag ahead to third. 2 outs now. After David Fletcher to get the Angels on the board.
Hit pretty well by Cole on a breaking ball. Always important to tag up to get third, especially with his breaking ball that Verlander have. Occasionally will bounce that. He's had a couple wild pitches this season.
90 feet away, that's where Ward is at. Fletcher lined out to Bregman. His first inning at bat. 0 for 1. Bad crowd still flowing in here on this Thursday night. School's in session now in Texas. One of those veteran pitchers that will comfortably work from the full windup with 2 outs and a man at third base.
And it's a quick little look over to third. I remember Anderson Simmons is trying to go down the line against him the one time. He still didn't flinch at all.
0-1. The ball's 2 strikes.
Boy, he really kicks it in another level when there's a runner in scoring position. Especially with 2 outs. Overall 188 with runners in scoring position. 50 pitches so far. So he's got a 96 and 97 mile-an-hour fastball working.
Yeah, I think this inning started at 94-ish.
Yep.
Just ballparking.
Vintage Verlander kicks it up a gear with the runner in scoring position. But that being said, David Fletcher is pretty good as far as making contact with that kind of velocity. He can go into the outfield rather easily, just getting that barrel of the bat on it.
Hit the rafter and comes on down.
Hey, oh, what a play! The deflection and the catch and the bow. That's keeping your eye on the baseball, waiting for the deflection.
Trout's on deck. 1-2 again to David. There's that breaking ball. A similar pitch that Fletcher went down and got off the end of the bat. Line to Bregman in the first inning.
I showed Eric Hensky. I was talking to him about what the game plan is against Verlander. He said it occasionally just gets some of those breaking balls that got flat spin to it out over the plate. And also, like we talked about before, is bringing that fastball down. But get one of those flat breaking balls.
Breaking ball down goes Fletcher. The Angels over the man in scoring position. We'll head to the bottom of the third. We're scoreless. When we return, we'll talk a little bit about the splendid splitter.
The theories that he had as a player, as a manager, as an instructor have stood the test of time. And with all the analytics that we have today, the high-speed video, I think all it's doing is proving that what Ted Williams said 50 or 60 years ago is the exact way that you're supposed to swing the bat.
That's Mr. Ranger himself, Tom Grieve, longtime analyst and player, general manager of the Texas Rangers, talking about his manager. Tom broke in with Washington Senators in 1970. followed, of course, with Texas when the Senators moved to Arlington in 1972.
There's great points about, Ted Williams as far as hitting ahead of his time, from launch angles to hitting against the shift. All those things back when Ted Williams was able to get through that.
Reddick bouncer back up the middle. Simba to his left. There's the first out at the bottom of the third inning. I think it is asked Tom about it. Became very good friends with him when I was working with the Rangers. Oh, he's one of the best storytellers there is, as far as just going back in history and his experience that he had. But I asked him about Ted as a manager. He said he's kind of a reluctant manager. He wasn't that into managing. Bob Short, the owner of the then Senators, and of course then the Texas Rangers, is the one that kind of talked him into it. And he only lasted the one season in Texas when they moved in '72, and that was it. But everything was focused around hitting, obviously, for Ted Williams.
And sometimes a hitter that gifted as Ted Williams was, it's sometimes difficult to understand how a hitter in your team itself can't be as consistent as he was. And I was lucky enough early in my career to do an autograph session with him. He was there I was sitting there next to him in 1984, and for 2 hours we were talking baseball, and he even visualized and saw some games in which I pitched, and he told me exactly what he would try to do against you. I'm like, how would you know that? He goes, because I know exactly what your patterns were. I'm like, all right, so if I'm going, we talked about hitting the ball through, in the air a lot. So he would say, okay, you're going to go that little two-seamer away. I'm going to hit that one on the line. I'm going to frustrate you. I'm going to get you to bring a fastball in, and then I'm going to hit that a long way. Same thing with your slider. Unless you get that to that back foot of mine, which I'll take anyhow, I'm going to get the barrel of the bat on your slider going into my swing path. And I'm going to lift that slider in the air. So I said, should I retire right now? I can't get anybody out. He goes, well, you may be able to get other people out, but I'm not so sure you're going to get me out.
It's amazing how through the test of time, and I don't know how it is in other sports, I guess it plays out differently in other sports, but for whatever reason in baseball, it never has seemed that a great player such as a Ted Williams never really evolved into a great manager. And the 1-2 is downstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I asked my dad about that a long time ago, and he says you have to understand, Ted Williams is talking hitting. He's talking about it from his perspective. And he was great because of, one, he was God-gifted talent. His eyesight was incredibly fantastic. Being able to process things. The normal guy at the major league can't do that stuff. So it's difficult to talk down, if you will, to a player to make them understand or help them understand the dynamics of hitting or pitching, however you play it out, depending on the position of that player. So it never really works out that way for baseball.
It's hard for a really good hitter like Ted to be able to relate to that, because he doesn't have many downtimes.
Right.
Successful pretty much every at bat. When you think about it, batting average, career batting average, where it was at 344. So there wasn't many times he wasn't hitting the ball hard. But a lot of players will go through those stretches, and it'd be difficult to relate for him to be able to tell them what you need to do when you're at your down point as a hitter and you're starting to jump out in that first pitch. You don't want to be dealing with secondary pitches.
Long that bat here with Maldonado. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. No score in the bottom of the third. Today the 100th anniversary of the birth of Ted Williams. This is past the diving hit of Garrett going the other way. Maldonado's on board with 1 out. Let's go back and listen to Tom Grieve talking a little bit more about Ted Williams.
Joe Camacho was one of our coaches. He came from Ted Williams' camp up in Massachusetts to coach for us. Nellie Fox, the Hall of Famer, was another coach. And they were going over the plays with the infielders. They were having a disagreement on exactly how to run these plays. The players were standing there. Ted was standing there. Their argument got a little bit heated, and Ted finally just said, "Ah, the hell with it. Let's just hit."
One and down. Let's just go hit. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Springer looks at a strike. And a base hit in the first.
Well, when you look at Ted's career numbers he had, and he missed, what, 3 seasons, parts of 3 seasons when he served in the military, and that was during his prime years.
Fighter pilot, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, he wasn't just going, whoa, he was a hero in every sense of the word.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Very effective so far in this game for Heaney as far as first pitch strikes. Wasn't really the case last time out. Solid here so far.
One ball, 2 strikes. Base hit by Maldonado, the third allowed by Heaney.
It's almost the exact same spot he was able to get Marwin Gonzalez a chase up above the strike zone at 94. This time Springer didn't go after it.
Good off-speed pitch. Down goes Springer, 2 down. Mentioned Ted serving in the military. Fighter pilot in the Marine Corps, World War II, and of course the Korean War.
Really almost
Presidential Medal of Freedom.
5 seasons in, 3 consecutive towards the end of his career there too, right away. Yep. In the military.
And you know, it's been discussed as to had he not missed that amount of time, where he would rank on the all-time list. Some would even say that he would have maybe come very close, if not to breaking Babe Ruth's home run record.
And then projected out there. He ended up with 521. Say if he was able to stay at his pace, very least 663 home runs. That's projecting out to that point. Well over 2,300 RBIs in his career. If he had been able to play through those, especially those parts of his career where he was at the top of his game.
Well, no count on Bregman. Double play into a double play in his first at bat. Coward goes into foul territory here. He's got a play on it. And that 1-out single stranded at first base. 3 complete here in Houston. We're still scoreless.
exhibit in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Ted Williams, his hot zone. Actually, a lot of the strike zone and a little bit below it too, in a way, part of that hot zone, what numbers he was able to put up. And Mike Trout, take a look at our Subway League leaders as far as on-base percentage comparison between the splendid Splinter and Mike Trout. 460 this season, leads Major League Baseball. That season, which had that magical numbers, Ted Williams, 553 on-base percentage, third best in Major League history. Barry Bonds with the top 2 as far as on-base percentage. That's a pretty good season, over 400 batting average.
Yep. Ted Williams' career on-base percentage of 482, all-time leader. It's pretty good. Just under half the time of your at-bats. Struck out just over 700 times and 7,000 plus at-bats.
Still pretty amazing when you look at Trout right now with a 460 on-base percentage. 104 walks with 1 here tonight.
John Upton and Ohtani here in the Angels' half of the 4th. Called strike 3. Trout liking that call, at least giving Searstrom a little bit of a look. 1 down.
Time to get him on a slider away. Take a look at our Nissan pitch cast on this slider. Maldonado setting up off the outside corner, and that pitch a little bit off the outside corner. Remember that first at bat with Trout walk was a little bit, I thought it was a little bit closer than that one.
Right. Upton struck out in the 1st. Takes a strike. 6 strikeouts already from Verlander. 1 out here in the 4th. 1 walk. 1 hit allowed. That was a double to Taylor Ward leading off the 3rd. One and 2.
He missed by a whole lot. Now as a hitter, and Justin Upton is trying to get his timing together, coming back from a 10-day DL. Probably going to have to deal with a high fastball now.
1-2. 1 away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good rip.
Good approach here. Brought that fastball in the strike zone, lower part of the zone. Spin rate, the average spin rate on a 4-seam fastball this season for Verlander, 2613 RPMs, revolution per minute. Mike Minor second at 2534, so significant lead as far as spin rate on his 4-seam fastball from Verlander. But it's a little bit better and easier to hit lower part of the strike zone than the higher part.
And we're talking about fastballs and the spin rate, more of the illusion of a rising fastball. Doesn't necessarily rise, but from the hitter's perspective, that's what it appears as. Talk about life on a fastball or late life. That's the correlation between the spin rate.
As you're speaking, that's exactly what that pitch was. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And it looks as if, as a hitter, as it gets closer to the plate, it is rising. Although, when you talk to somebody that is into the physics world, they said it's impossible for that to do that, but it gives that illusion that it does.
Here's Shohei. He grounded out, leading off the 2nd.
Another one of those sliders, a little bit off the plate again. Called a strike. I thought he might go break a ball because I think Shohei was sitting first pitch fastball against Verlander.
lifted down the left field line. Into the seats. Don't take much to poke one out to the coffin boxes in left field. 315 down the left field line.
And as much as we talk about Ted Williams had those great hands. You look at Shohei Ohtani. He's got those quick hands. Even that baseball, and allowing the baseball to get a little bit deeper, he can hit that ball very well to left field. We've seen that as far as left center field, as far as home run approach for Ohtani this season.
No balls, 2 strikes, and Shohei backing out. The 0-2. Winner on the breaking ball, Maldonado. Throw down to first. Complete the strikeout, and Verlander strikes out the side, and he has 4 consecutive. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless.
By City National Bank, a proud sponsor of Angels baseball. And by the 2018 Subaru Forester, a whole lot to love. It's a beautiful night here in Houston. Had some rain earlier this morning, but otherwise typical hot and muggy this time of year. We are indoors. The roof is closed. And Jose Altuve leading things off here at the bottom of the 4th. We're scoreless. It'll be 3-4-5 for the Astros, and Altuve, Correa, and White. Altuve with a double in the 1st inning. Hustle double, if you will. It trickled off the glove of both Taylor Ward and Andrelton Simmons. His 27th double of the year.
Pretty patient at bat for Altuve.
Now, there are times when you see him at the plate, you can kind of tell that he's taking. Then there's other times he looks like he's ready to jump on anything close.
Been very good since he's returned to the lineup. 7-1. Reason why he won an MVP.
3 balls, 1 strike.
It's coming back 324 for Altuve. Pretty good life on the fastball for Heaney there. Outside part of the plate, 93.
And both starters have taken what Gary Cederstrom has given them, you know, that outside part of the plate to righties, and start to exploit it, which is what you're supposed to do. Now, strike zone moves that way. Why not? Until you know hitters start making adjustments, you got to keep them honest.
This is one of those times too. If you're Andrew Heaney as he progresses in his career, after a fastball like that, you throw that fade changeup away. That should work perfectly. Now you really have to have a good feel for that on a 3-2 count, knowing it's going to at least start in the strike zone to start with, and get a real good hitter to expand on the changeup.
Payoff. Foul back.
95. That kind of cut right across back in the strike zone, though, off the body and mask of Francisco Garcia. Cut back.
Oh, 3-2, lined out toward left field. Justin Upton will have it fall in front of him toward the end of the bat. Two-hit night for Altuve. He's on board to lead things off for Correa.
That's his 107th single this season for Altuve. Pretty good breaking ball. And down, he was out in front. With the speed of the pitch, especially after dealing with some pretty good fastballs, but still was able to get that and hook that into the outfield for a single. Fifth multi-hit games for Altuve, 9 games since returning from the disabled list.
Correa grounded out to end the first. He ran a nice fastball in on his hands. Jammed it. That was just below the strike zone. 1 ball, no strikes. I know there's zero consolation for giving up a soft single to Altuve. That one's 73 miles per hour off the bat, but you got to feel pretty good that you fell behind 3-0.
Yeah.
You made a pretty good pitch. From a confidence standpoint, as Correa bounced this one to short. We're talking about the double plays that these guys have hit into this year. There's the second one tonight, 2 down.
14th turn behind Andrew Heaney this season. Let's take a look at We Make It Easy, brought to you by SoCal Toyota. Rated Anderson Simmons, David Fletcher, 6-4-3 double play. That's the 95th double play turn by Anderson Simmons, 22nd by David Fletcher.
15th time Correa's hit into one. Bases clear. And it is Tyler White at the plate. He lifted one out to center field, leading off the second. So he's 0 for 1.
Six outs via the ground ball tonight for Andrew Heaney, including 2 of those being double play balls.
Through the hole in the left side, it's Tyler White. On board with a 2-out single.
And we talked about, as far as good and sometimes not so good sliders, and where Andrew Heaney gets around the baseball. He's trying to go backdoor with that. It becomes a flatter slider instead of going straight down. It goes right to the barrel of the bat, and White hooks that one in between short and third. It's just a matter of just getting underneath the baseball just a little bit for Andrew Heaney when he's on top. Very, very good. That's one of those sliders I always talk about when I had that conversation with Ted Williams. That's the one I would look for from you. Get around, it would go right to the barrel of the bat, similar to what happened there with White for Andrew Heaney against him.
Good fastball in for a strike. Gonzalez struck out in the second. 2 strikeouts for Andrew tonight. No walks. 5 hits allowed now. Angels at 1. Taylor Ward a double.
Pitches for Heaney. Very good ratio between balls and strikes so far for Heen Dog.
One. Is that high fastball? That's the one that Gonzalez struck out on. second inning at bat.
So hard to lift that baseball as a hitter. That's why you're seeing more and more pitchers go away from that two-seam fastball, at least for the time being, and go with a four-seam fastball upstairs.
Not a big lead at all for Tyler White at first. Late on that one.
Yeah, with those type of swings, Victor, you're almost reluctant to go to a secondary pitch. You wonder if you would speed up his bat.
Maybe just watch the body language stepping out of the batter's box. He looks like he's frustrated.
Yeah. You'd never trust the hitter, though.
Never.
Never.
Trying to lull you to sleep.
Yes.
He's been pretty even as far as the splits, right-handed, left-handed this year. 248 from the right side, 252 from the left for Marwin.
And if you're going to throw a slider or a changeup, you want to make sure it's out of the strike zone. You don't have to hit the strike zone here because he's geared up to try to catch up to a fastball.
So in essence, don't speed up his bat.
No.
Up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. That's a strike.
Wow, that's all over the strike zone.
Yeah. Question is, how did Arcia present that pitch? Or did he? Outside part of the place where he set up.
That's still a strike.
Yeah.
Especially for Gary Cederstrom, he's looking right down. Yes, he did reach back. But as an umpire, you're looking for the corners of the plate, right? And when it crosses the plate.
I think that's the worst excuse ever for umpires. Big mislocation or the catcher had to reach back.
Yeah, strike's a strike.
White takes off 3-2, fouled off. One would think a strike is a strike.
It's supposed to be. It doesn't matter if, you know, sometimes the baseball will move a little bit differently. He was trying to throw a fastball there. Andrew was that pitch before on the outside corner. It cut back a little bit, but it got a lot of the plate. So as a home plate umpire, you see that cutting across the front of the plate. It makes it easier to call the strike.
White again is going to take off on the next pitch. Payoff. Gonzalez fouls it back.
And the more this at bat progresses, the more it leans towards Gonzalez, I think, now, because he's seeing a lot of those fastballs and he's starting to time it a little bit better.
Now's when you're thinking, maybe I do throw a changeup.
I think, because I think he's timed his fastball right now.
That last swing was pretty good. The last one before when he shot it down the right field line. No score. Bottom of the 4th. Both starters very deliberate tonight. Verlander's picked up the pace a little bit. He's also picking up some strikeouts. Another 3-2. Gonzalez got a fastball again up and away.
I think part of it too is Andrew Heaney knows he has to concentrate on every pitch right now because any mistake could really put him in a position where it's going to be difficult for the team to win, the way Verlander is throwing not only tonight but what he has done over his last, going into a 7th straight start now against the Angels.
Verlander with 8 strikeouts through the first 4 innings.
It comes into play when you're on the mound facing not only the world champs, as far as this lineup too, you're facing one of the all-time greats on the mound the other side too. Even though you're not facing Verlander in the batter's box, you know he doesn't make many mistakes.
Try this one more time. There's that off-speed pitch.
See how he was out in front on it.
Fastball in.
That would get him.
The old cat and mouse of the pitcher hitter. .57 pitches for Andrews so far. Tyler White getting a nice workout between first and second. He'll take off once again. Tried to go back inside.
That's one of those conversations I was a catcher. He goes, I tried everything here. What do you think? Well, I'm trying to think of maybe to say, hey, listen, there's enough pitches in this and that. Just make it out. You can hit it hard, but hit it at somebody. I remember many times a catcher come out, what do you want to do? I go, I don't want to throw any more pitches. I want to get it out here.
Just hit him, move on to the next guy. Conserve energy, right? Save pitches. Yuli Gurriel's on deck. It's the 12th pitch of the at-bat, if I'm not mistaken. And they'll foul it.
Not quite Brandon Belt-like against Berea early in the season.
Nothing was like that.
No.
Total pitches so far.
And a lot of fastballs. Just one breakable.
That's what they decide to go with here. Breaking ball locked him up. A perfect pitch. Gonzalez agrees as he walks back toward the dugout. We're through 4. It's still scoreless.
Smarter, and I moved away from the plate where that pitch wasn't so tough, and then I started to hit that good. Then they started to go out there again, and over a career, and your career too, they had years that they'd pitch you one way and then they'd change, or during the season they'd change with you. They'd change and move out here for a while, and then they'd say, well, you got to bust him inside, or they'd say you got to keep it down, or you got to keep it up, and that goes through anybody's career that's extended at all, where they, you know, different staffs will change with you, and you've got to detect that's coming before you've had a catastrophe with the season.
Nothing like Ted Williams talking baseball, and specifically the shift that was put on him in 1941.
And we're facing a club here that puts a lot of shifts on to begin with, the Astros.
Actually, 1941 was the original shift that was put on it by Jimmy Dykes, then the manager of the Chicago White Sox. And then it was Lou Boudreau, Hall of Fame skipper of the Cleveland Indians, who brought it back.
Kind of dared to hit the ball the other way.
Ball 1 strike on Andrelton Simmons.
But his whole theory was too, he wanted to hit the ball in the air.
Down the line, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andrelton popped out to Maldonado in the second.
You can tell that little frustration here for Andrelton Simmons. That was a breakable ball. He has a chance hitting the Crawford boxes. He's just trying to tell himself to settle down. He had a pretty good pitch to hit. He was just out in front.
Arcia's on deck, then Ward. 6, 7, and 8 for the Angels in the 5th. Another step off by Verlander. And this, to me, that's got to be all communication or miscommunication with Maldonado. The 1-2. Dribbler toward third. That's going to be an infield base hit.
Andrelton Simmons, by the way, that's his 23rd infield hit this season.
Bring up Arcia.
Going back to that conversation with Ted Williams in the shift, there's that shift, the card from where they had set it up against Ted Williams. Just one fielder on that left side of the field. That's a left fielder. And then you look at Joey Gallo earlier, what the Astros did to him as far as loading up that infield with all 4 infielders. That's Bregman out in the outfield. No one in the infield for Joey Gallo on that left side. Bregman moves out from third base out to left field and catches that fly ball. So 4 outfielders and the infielders. No one on that left side of the infield.
Arcia cuts through that pitch. No balls, 2 strikes.
Got him on a high fastball last time up too.
Go back to that shift card here in a second. That's the one that Boudreau and the Indians put on in 1946. Boudreau, the shortstop, was the one that actually fielded the ball that Williams hit. So it worked out perfectly. He was a genius.
Yeah, he put it out there as player manager.
There goes Arcia. 1 down. Credit Boudreau, so after the game when he gets asked about it, see where he's at right there at the shortstop position, which is the normal second base spot. Giving credit to Jimmy Dykes for originally doing it a couple of times against Williams. In 1941, Williams yelling at Dykes, calling him a name that I won't repeat on the air.
It's amazing what you see when the second baseman set up. I guess he feels if he can hit it through the first baseman, he's got coverage behind him.
Exactly. First time he saw it, Williams said he just poked a double down the left field line. The next step back, different day, bunted down the third base line, and they threw that shift away until 46.
We've often said that too with the players today when it comes to shifts put on. Why would you not do that? Remember, David Ortiz did that one time, got a base hit, button down the third base line. He's always been a guy that they've shifted against.
Mindset for Williams and for many. Give a guy that they today's game, well, he's retired now, but Mark Teixeira, who shifted quite a bit on as a left-handed batter, especially. They always felt that if you could try to lift the ball, obviously number 1, 2, try to hit it through them or through the shift. So Williams always talked about not just contact, but hitting the ball with authority, squaring the baseball up. That was the biggest key. He felt that if you squared up the baseball, it'd give you that much more of an opportunity to beat whatever they did defensively against you.
And that's always trying to find your one pitch to hit during that sequence and then at bat. Well, those conversations with Tony Gwynn and Ted Williams were priceless also, hearing those guys talk hitting.
Taylor bounces it foul.
And it's always fun when you listen to great hitters talk hitting. I remember being lucky enough early in my career to listen to Hal McRae and George Brett talk hitting and what they were trying to do as far as clearing their hips, getting their hands through the baseball, looking for a pitch, setting up pitchers.
Ward will strike out, 2 outs.
Speaking of George Brett, we're talking about clearing those hips. It's with Ted Williams. He's able to get those hips in that position to get that hands through the baseball well. It's clearing the hips. Hips so important as he drives towards the pitcher, and then the hands out in front to drive the baseball. George Brett was one of the best ever as far as getting that baseball squared up, clearing his hips, and using those hands.
He was unique in that there aren't too many guys, well, today's game at all, really, that still implement a closed stance approach. George had somewhat of a closed stance, and then his stride was in even more toward the home plate area. So you had to clear. I mean, you have to be so good with your hands and so quick with your hands to be able to do that. And if we had one, you got to be coordinated.
Yeah.
And then additionally, you have to have quick hands and clear those hips.
Loading on the backside, he would have really good with. 3 different decades won a batting title, George Brett.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Good guy. It was fun growing up. His father's kids' games at Royal Stadium. He was so young when he got to the big leagues. My dad was still there, and it was just a good guy. He obviously carried it over into your days as a player.
Yes.
And still having fun.
Yes.
Never a dull moment with George. Simba's back easy.
But even going back to your point about Ted Williams being a manager, George would always tell me he would have a tough time kind of relating to hitters and players as a manager, because it's tough, because he said anytime I would see a hitter hit a ball, a ground ball to the right side of the infield, I would be running as hard as I can down the line. If I saw someone just going, not 100%, I couldn't keep him in the game.
That's a different
or missing
mindset.
Pitches that that he hit. It'd be difficult to see, how did you not hit that? Because in your mind, you're already processing, he should hit that ball. Well, not everyone's as good a hitters as Ted Williams or George Brett. Or you can even relate it to all sports. When you think about even in the NBA, how many great basketball players became great head coaches. It's just tough, because the game came a little bit easier for you because you were so talented.
3-1 count on Caleb. He struck out his first time up. 10 strikeouts tonight for Verlander. We're in the 5th. Caleb pops it up behind the plate. Not a whole lot of room here at Minute Maid, so I'll be able to watch it go into seats.
I think a real interesting matchup would be like a Justin Verlander against a Ted Williams. When we talk about that 4-seam fastball, upper part of the strike zone, and Ted Williams talked about launch angle, how difficult that would be to get that ball up in the air, to create backspin on the baseball with a launch angle type swing that Ted Williams had versus a 97-mile-an-hour fastball with the spin rate that Justin Verlander has.
There goes Simba. Caleb strikes out. So 11 strikeouts now in the ninth. Going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Still scoreless here at Minute Maid. Franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. It is rated E for everyone. Duel pulling one down the left field line. This one found and out of play.
Change up out in front. Fastball first pitch, change up next.
Bottom third of the order for Houston here in the fifth against Andrew Heaney, who has 3 strikeouts, no walks. And the second, Fletcher's down. One down. Reddick grounded out to Andrelton Simmons in the 3rd inning.
It's the 7th out via ground ball for Heaney. Verlander with 11 strikeouts.
Just off the plate, not by much either. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good. Came in batting .246, 13 home runs, driven home 41. Two on count. 66 pitches for Andrew. Prolonged at bat with Marvin Gonzalez last inning that eventually resulted in a strikeout look. Three and 1. Still be in the 50s as far as the pitch count is concerned, had it not been for that AB. He's fallen behind here, 3 balls and a strike. Number 9 hitter Martin Maldonado on deck.
Reddick 2 for 10 in his career against Heaney, including the base hit that last time out they face each other.
So like right there in that situation, you know, we've been talking a lot about Ted Williams tonight. He'd be wondering, why are you taking a 3-1? What were you looking for?
That's what he always said. You're
count?
Always looking for a spot to hit. And that was the perfect pitch if you're Reddick to hit. And then you expand a little bit because you have to now with 2 strikes on a 4-seamer upstairs. And that's one of those things, especially as a manager, to be going, hello?
Right.
That's the pitch you wanted. You worked for it. You were patient enough for it. And you let it go.
Fouled off.
Pretty consistent life on his fastball tonight for Heaney. Been 92, 93 throughout the entire game.
(3-2). Reddick lays off and works the walk. First one issued by Andrew. We're talking about that 3-1 pitch that Reddick took, and Ted Williams would think, well, the late great Dave Nelson played for Ted Williams. This is what he had to say about Ted Williams in a similar situation.
And I remember I'm at the plate, 2 balls, no strikes, and he jams me with a fastball. And Ted just screams at me, and when I get back to the dugout, and he's yelling, he says, "What's wrong with you? You had the count in your favor. You should be able to hit that ball hard somewhere. Were you looking fastball?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he says, "Well, next time you better be ready." And so later in the game, 3-1 count on me. And Ted says, he yells out from the dugout, "You better be ready." Boom! Hit my first big league home run.
That is super cool. Gives you goosebumps. I miss Dave. He was one of the all-time greats.
A 1 count on Baldonado at a single to right field. It's been a while since we've seen this many step-offs by pitchers in a 0-0 game midway through.
You can almost understand a little bit for Andrew Heaney,
right,
knowing that if you make a mistake, that could cost you a W. Now for Verlander, it's surprising.
0-2 count. Not a big lead for Reddick over at first. This one pulled down the line, that is foul, way out in front of it. Reddick is about a third of the way to third base, crosses over and heads it back to first. Still 0-2. Angels with no runs, 2 hits, stranded 3. Houston, no runs, 5 hits, left 3 on base so far.
And he's already gotten 2 double plays turned behind him. Able to save some pitches, get a ground ball double play right here to finish off the inning.
Good start to this 4-game series thus far.
Another step off.
Down goes Maldonado, off-speed pitch, 2 down.
That's that good changeup. That pitch was so effective for him down in San Diego. Remember, Maldonado got a hit on the fastball away the first at bat. This time he throws him a changeup, a perfect one. It's out of the strike zone. A non-strike and get the hitter to swing at it. Be careful. First pitch here now. Springer.
1 for 2 tonight. Singled in the first, struck out in the third. Two balls, no strikes. Stay tuned during the 7th inning stretch for the Nissan Game Break with Jose Mota. 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits for Andrew. Locking horns with Justin Verlander once again tonight. Verlander with 11 strikeouts through 5. His season high is 14. He's done that twice. Once against the Dodgers, once against the Yankees. Top part of the zone, 2-1.
93-mile-an-hour fastball, still solid life at pitch number 78.
The 2-1. Springer late on that one. 2-2.
Try to catch up to 93. Just above the belt. You know, with those hand issues this year, at least recently for Springer, that looked like an uncomfortable swing on that high fastball.
Thumb jammed, sliding into a second base. Reddick with a 1-out walk over at first base. 2-2 pitch. Back. Still as aggressive as always.
And he hits the ball pretty hard the other way, too, especially when it's elevated. See that difference in the speed ranges throughout the game for 95. Best fastball, 76 for his slider. His changeup's been 82, 84. So in the 90s, 80s, and 70s with your 3 pitches. That's pretty solid for Andrew Heaney tonight.
Lays off, full count. Reddick will get a head start here. Alex Bregman, the man on deck. Halos in the 6th inning will have the top of the order coming up. Calhoun, Fletcher, and Trout. Verlander struck out the side in the last 2 innings. Three-2. Springer out to center. Playable for Trout. We're through 5 here in Houston. Still scoreless.
Base hits and home runs when I do that. But after I do that for a while, I find myself either popping up again or grounding ball, and it's generally ground balling. And that's the worst thing that can happen to me because I can't get hits into pulling right field with the ground ball because of the defense, and I'm only getting singles when I do. Unless I hit a ball real sharp, I can't get it through. So consequently, I'm a better hitter when I'm hitting the ball in the air.
Ted Williams talking about lifting the baseball in his playing career. Turned out well for the splendid Splinter. No score here in the 6th inning. Cole leading things off.
It's funny when you listen to it. You almost hear Justin Turner saying the same thing. Josh Donaldson saying the same thing about lifting the ball in the air.
Yeah. What you don't hear often about, and if you read the book, is his hitting book. Years ahead of itself. He's talking about him figuring out the angle in which pitchers hit, or throw I should say, to hitters, and finding a swing to kind of counteract what a pitcher does on the mound. Obviously we're talking about a 6-foot pitcher back in those days, 6'2", maybe, the downward hill, the angle. what is my best way of getting those extra base hits and hitting home runs? And then, of course, he's talking about the launch angle. In today's game, you see pitchers trying to readjust to the launch revolution by doing what? Throwing pitches up in the zone. So until hitters readjust and can start hitting that ball that's up in the zone, you're going to continue to see the strikeouts the way they are.
I know Cleveland during spring training had a lot of their batting practice thrown to them on high fastballs to adjust to that, because you know at some point pitchers are going to adjust to that, and Verlander's a perfect example of it. There it is once again.
That's the thing about Williams, and we're talking about him being a fighter pilot, how just way ahead of everyone he was. Just the way he broke it down. Again, you can't teach that. You either have it or you don't.
And he always talks about, and we all know about his vision was off the charts. That helped too. Seeing the baseball, reading the seams so easily.
This one's pulled into right field toward the corner, and this one is foul just out in front of it. The count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This goes right into the conversation. It was a little bit lower in the strike zone than the pitch before when it was above the strike zone, where you get a little bit of an angle to hit the ball in the air like that. Difficult to catch up if he goes a little bit higher fastball here.
In off the plate, full count. Here's the payoff. Cole pulls this one over the head of Gurriel and toward the corner. That's a fair ball. On his way to second, Calhoun has himself a leadoff double.
I was looking in there. I knew it was going to be an off-speed pitch by what Martin Maldonado put down. Cole did a nice job adjusting. Got that pitch a little bit lower. Stayed back on it enough. I think it was a straight changeup that he hooked. His foot down, gets loaded up. We talk about getting the hips cleared. Did so on that off-speed pitch and lines it just over the head of Gurriel for a double for Cole.
Cole 1 for 3 on the night, 15th double of the season. Here's David Fletcher. Figure he'll be in the sacrifice mode.
The other day had a perfect bunt to first base. Ended up getting a base hit out of it.
Fletcher tonight 0 for 2, a line out and a strikeout.
Remember, that was a high pitch. I imagine Verlander is going to try the same thing here. You got to keep that bat level.
Not bunting. Pops it up. One down.
Take a look at our Carl's Cam replay with Mike Trout coming to the plate. What he did just the other day on a low pitch, clearing the hips, bringing his hands through the baseball, lower part of the strike zone, and lined that one out to left field, the hips, and through with the hands. So important. Driving towards there, clearing the hips, and then bringing the hands through the baseball to barrel up and line it out for a home run. He would love to get a pitch in the lower part of the strike zone here against Verlander.
Trout pulls on the left field, a base hit, got a breaking ball, first pitch. This ballpark, the left fielder plays shallow. Cole can only advance to third, so runners out the corners now for Justin Upton.
Almost right, we were just talking about. Break a ball lower part of the strike zone, he lines it in left field. Trout has been aggressive against Verlander this evening. Gets that slider, lines it. 1 for 2 in the game, on base twice with a walk and a single. That's 3 hits in the last 2 games for Trout versus Verlander.
Upton tonight 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts.
Well, he's sticking with fastballs against Justin tonight.
Action beginning down the Astros pen. Verlander 95 pitches. Tony Sipp, first man up. Shohei Ohtani on deck. Did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cooper with the call.
See if he went. He's got to be pretty strong to be able to hold up on that swing.
Oh.
And he didn't. I was going to say.
Not even close.
Yeah, you're trying to catch up to 96, 97. Be very difficult to stop your swing.
Eric Cooper may have been in the midst of a blink at that point.
He was hanging with Mr. Cooper.
1-1. 2-1 now.
Well, you see what he's trying to do. He got him 2 times already tonight on high fastballs. And Upton's trying to get a pitch that's elevated enough where he can hit it in the air but not expand the strike zone by swinging it a non-strike. So far tonight, when you think about it with Justin Verlander, we talk about avoiding that launch angle type swing where you can get up on top of the baseball. 4-seam fastballs, pretty consistent, 96, 97, upstairs throughout this game for Verlander with 11 strikeouts, all pretty much on that fastball, middle to above the strike zone.
Well, if you could just highlight that release point on all of those pitches, I guarantee you they're all in the exact same spot.
That was his pitch. Yeah. That was the one. Just pulled off. I think it's more timing for Upton on that swing because that's exactly where he's going to hit the ball far. Now I imagine he'll go upstairs again, higher. See if Upton can put it in play. Again, an elevated pitch. You have a chance at the very least, flare it into the outfield.
2-2. Reaching forward, punches it to right field. Cole will score, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead. Upton with his 75th run batted in.
That's all he was trying to do. He's trying to get a pitch where he can just put the barrel of the bat on it. It's our top tier play brought to you by Arco. Didn't get that fastball up lower part of the zone and just punched it into the outfield. And Verlander, I'm sure, is not going to be real happy at this moment. After that swing, and then A.J. Hinch out the mound, taking him out.
Verlander is done with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Pitching change with the Angels on top 1-0.
Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls, only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. Halos have themselves a 1-0 lead here in the 6th inning, forcing Justin Verlander out of the game after he allowed 3 hits this inning. And Shohei Ohtani coming to the plate. Tony Sipp takes over. It's his pitching change. It's brought to you by Purple Bricks. 43rd game for the lefty. 2-1 with a 1.99 ERA, 34 strikeouts, 9 walks in 31 2/3 innings.
89-94 fastball, slider, split changeup.
Trout at second, Upton at first. 1 ball, no strikes. Shohei tonight 0 for 2. Grounded out. Altuve in the second, struck out in the 4th inning.
I'm sure that was a lot of fun for AJ Hinch to walk down and take that baseball out of the hand of Justin Verlander.
I was actually wondering, similar scenario, had Verlander struck out Upton, gotten the second out, what he would have done with Sipp ready to go and Ohtani at the plate. Two balls, no strikes. Harris, next man up.
It's a lefty. 56% of the time, Sipp will throw a fastball on a 2-0 count to a lefty. See if Shohei will get a fastball here. Got one.
3-0. Sipp not happy with that last non-call.
I got to believe it. Ohtani will have the green light here. 12 of the 15 home runs Ohtani has hit this season have been on fastball.
Three-0. 3-1.
Looking for another home run on a fastball.
Shohei will get the start on the mound on Sunday night, not tomorrow. We wish it was tomorrow. Great to call his return to the mound.
Yes.
Sunday night game will be on the another network.
Yeah. Still looking for that first home run versus a lefty.
3-1. And they're loaded out for Andrelton Simmons. Sipp comes in, walks Ohtani. Here comes AJ Hinch back out. Pitch and change. Will Harris will take over now. Angels, little noise here, hoping to make some noise. Up 1-0.
T-Mobile. Speaking of closed stands, Giancarlo Stanton looking for career home run number 300. Well, he gets it tonight and hits it out to right field, Yankee Stadium. Congratulations, Giancarlo Stanton, pride of Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. Pick number 300 career home runs now.
Here it's 1-0 Angels with the bases loaded. Will Harris replacing Tony Sipp, who walked Shohei Ohtani. This will be the 53rd appearance for Harris. 3-3 with a 4.13 earned run average. He's going to face Andrelton Simmons. Simple 1 for 2 out an infield base hit. He's in the 5th.
3 for 5 with the bases loaded this season.
Trout at third, Upton at second, Ohtani at first. Good speed on the bases for the Angels. Breaking ball out toward left center field. Marvin Gonzalez not going to get there. It'll go to the wall. Ohtani being waved around. That's going to be a bases clearing double for Andrelton Simmons. 4-0 Angels.
Got another base hit now, 4 for 6 with the bases loaded for Simba. Break a ball went down and got it, and he lines it into the gap in left center field. Another one of those low pitches hit well in this inning by the Angels. It was fun watching Shohei Ohtani go first to home on that one too. Because Gonzalez did a pretty good job of getting to that baseball, getting in quickly. But Shohei, speed, scores from first. 4-run innings so far.
Book closed now on Verlander, allowing 3 runs in 5 1/3. Garcia pops it up. Bregman is there. 2 down.
You think about it, 5 earned runs in previous 43 innings pitched for Verlander against the Angels. Coming in the game tonight, 3 earnings here this evening.
1 bad pitch to Cole Calhoun. 1 bad decision, I guess, to Cole Calhoun, because he really was cruising. 11 strikeouts through 5 innings. And had the opportunity to put Cole away to start the inning, but Cole hooked a double. Pop up by Fletcher. The Trout a single. Walk to Ohtani. And a double now. Andrelton Simmons. Different game now.
That's why an out's an out. Sometimes strikeouts, overrated. Although I never mind getting one on occasion.
Taylor Ward 1 for 2, a double and a strikeout. Four runs in for the Angels here in the 6th. Sipp gets charged with one of these runs. 1-1.
His fastballs can be 90-94. I'll cut his fastball like that. And curveball. Curveball was the one that Simba went down and got and blinded in left center field.
It's a sharp break to that one. Ward takes a called strike 3. The Angels strike for 4. Gooby take a 4-0 lead to the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, some real good swings as they try to find a way to score some runs in this game against Verlander. Good approach there to put into play by Jay Upton. Andrelton Simmons gets a breaking ball, flies into the gap. Angels up 4-0.
get mad. Get mad at yourself and mad at the pitcher.
Fastball pitches, Williams swings. It is a home run.
A man has to have goals for a day, for a lifetime.
There's a drive to deep right center. This may be gone.
And that was mine. To have people say, there goes Ted Williams, the greatest hitter who ever lived.
Well, if you had written it that way, nobody would believe it, so I even tried.
I love what he said about be angry at the pitcher, be mad when you get to that batter's box. The old saying is forever, they're trying to take money out of your wallet, those pitchers on the mound if you're a hitter, vice versa if you're pitching. Chance to feed your family. It's that battle between a pitcher and a hitter every single night.
Absolute gamer.
Well, he said style too, kind of like you.
Yeah,
style master that you are.
Said nobody. I love the fact the 1941 season going to the last day, hitting .39955. Rounded up, it's 400. Played both ends of the doubleheader. Went 6 for 8. Ended up at 406. I don't know if that would happen too often nowadays.
No.
That's when you know you believe in your ability. That's why he talked the talk.
How cool was that picture to start with Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams? So connected even through that 400 batting season.
Yeah, there was an interesting relationship. If you read about Ted, what he felt, he didn't get obviously didn't have the best relationship really with fans in Boston, and for sure the media. And, because Joe DiMaggio was Joe DiMaggio, it seemed like he was always getting the accolades. As a matter of fact, Joe won the MVP in 41 the year that Ted hit 406 because of the 56-game hit streak.
Jolt and Joe and a splendid split.
There's some old video. It's like an old timers game. And they used to do those. Remember the Cracker Jack old timers game at RFK? Down goes Bregman. They're down #1 to start the 6th. They're introducing the greatest living hitter. And it's Joe DiMaggio. And it's DiMaggio and Ted Williams are standing next to each other, and Ted Williams walks out with Joe DiMaggio.
And we're seeing, from both starters here tonight where, Andrew Heaney's a guy that literally will live down in the lower part of the strike zone when it's fastball. He's been using that four-seamer upstairs pretty well. Yeah, but I'll tell you, Ted, what a hitter.
Not only in baseball's Hall of Fame, he is the fishing Hall of Fame.
Fishing Hall of Fame.
Huge fisherman. Altuve 2 for 2, double and a single. To one
spot. I'm really liking the consistency and the velocity of the fastball here tonight for Heaney. Back-to-back pitches, they were borderline call Heaney's way.
Two. Altuve skying with the center. Two down. Correa coming to the plate. Are guys that you think that taken the advice or heeded the advice of Ted Williams?
Yeah, historically, when you think about it, Hank Aaron, how he's able to use those hands to get that baseball out in front, and use those hips to clear and be able to get that barrel of the bat, and then the hands of Rod Carew to serve the ball to all fields, and then you go back into the launch angle of Babe Ruth lifting the baseball out of the ballpark a lot of times. It's so cool when you get a chance to celebrate Ted Williams, I guess, to be able to compare both past and present players with Ted Williams and his swing and what he did in his approach at the plate.
Oh, 1. 0-2. It's that high fastball again.
94. Just talking to Mark Langston in between innings, he was saying the same thing that we were thinking. It's the best fastball as far as consistency we've seen from Andrew Heaney.
One and 2.
95.
One, 2 to Correa. Check swing, 2-2. Correa grounded out to Fletcher in the first inning. The fourth, grounded into a double play, 6-4-3.
This time, Heaney picked up a victory on the road. September 2nd, 2015 at Oakland. Covers a 17 road start streak in which he has not picked up a W.
2-2 now. Got him upstairs. And speaking of Oakland, they're down 5-0 heading to the bottom of the first.
Yeah, that's that high fastball here from Andrew Heaney to get a swing and miss. 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Heaney.
Grab your bat. So I grabbed my bat. He said, get in your stance. I did so. He said, now start your swing and stop it where you think you make contact with the ball. Now, I'd never looked at video. I never had a hitting instructor, no coaching as far as how to hit a baseball. And so that whole concept was a little bit new to me. Where would I make contact with the ball? So I tried to think real quick, and I could remember people saying, well, you hit the ball out in front of the plate. So I stopped my bat way out there. And he kind of looked at me and he said, I'll tell you what, I want you to think about this for a couple of days. And when you come up with a different answer, maybe we'll have a conversation. Because right now, we really don't have a starting point for our conversation.
That's so good. That's when you get a chance, you're taking a test, and they go, well, I'll give you a chance at a retest on that one. Before you get a chance to even look at all the grades in it. When you think about it again, then we'll talk about it. That's pretty good.
Tom told me once that Ted used to just bring guys, young guys, towards the end of the dugout where he's sitting there watching the game when he was managing, and go through, just talk to that particular player and say, what are you seeing here out of this pitcher? What do you think he's going to throw? I mean, just imagine just listening in on those conversations. Again, he didn't have any real interest in managing. Just talk kidding. Nine, 1-2 for the Angels. Cowart, Calhoun, and Fletcher. Got a both for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. There's out number 1 to start the 7th.
It's pretty amazing though when you talk to like Ted Williams, or had a chance to even talk with Joe DiMaggio. Same thing. They saw games, and they were, you know, even though they were done playing years ago, they still were looking exactly what they would do against you, their approach. So just in case, that's why I've always felt as a young player walking around, you know, whether before games, during a game, I mean, or after games, if you see a veteran, a guy that you've looked up to as a player, that's the great information you can always get from somebody. Any veteran around, you have a chance. Well, what are you looking for there? Craig Biggio has been walking around here at Minute Maid Park here today. If you're a hitter, why not? That little nugget you can get. Enos Cabell walking around here. Saw him earlier today. Jose Cruz around here today.
Good old Cho.
Yep.
Cole started the rally the 6th inning with a double into the right field corner.
It's so funny. I was walking by him today. He goes, I don't think I get your slider. I said, you would probably try to set me up for that one. So you get the barrel of the bat and drive it out of the ballpark. Who are you kidding? He just laughed and walked away. I knew he was saying. There was that information, those conversations are invaluable.
One-two count. Action in the Angels pen. Ansel Robles. One-two. He's off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think Martin Maldonado remembers last time up for Cole. An all-speed pitch down in the strike zone, and he hooked it down in the corner. Say, all right, I'm going back upstairs. And that's really not part of Will Harris's game as far as high fastballs. But he's going with a number of them here in this at bat.
Now the 2-2. Little bouncer back toward the mound. Harris under control. Not easy going down that back slope. 2 outs.
So that's a play right there. A lot of times you look back, see where your infield is. If it gets over his head, that's a hit. So that's one of those plays you have to go back and make a play on, and he did so. That is just the 2nd ground ball out of the game for the Angels.
Fletcher tonight 0 for 3. Now toward right center field. Now it's going to fall in for a base hit. A 2-out knock. Davis going to turn. Slam on the brakes. That ball kind of skipped on Springer. Nice play by the Astros center fielder.
And as much as you like to get in the scoring position, unless you know for sure you're getting the second, you give Trout a chance to swing the bat. He's hit once again for Fletcher. Runs in that right center field. Pitch elevated. He thought about it. Slams on the brakes. Hit with real good range out in center.
3-hit game for Fletcher on Tuesday night. It's his first hit of the night tonight in the 7th. Trout takes a strike. Mike on board twice with a walk in the first, singled and scored in the 6th inning. The Tigers and Yankees just going back and forth. Tigers have taken a lead. 8-7 in the ninth now.
That's the one worry I think if you're the Yankees. Not only their starting staff, but their bullpen hasn't been as locked down.
Boston's come back. They were down 4-0. They tied it up. Bottom of the seventh against the White Sox. 1 ball and strike. Seattle up 5-0 on Oakland. And a National League West battle at Dodger Stadium. Diamondbacks and the Dodgers opening up a 4-game series.
Colorado's down in San Diego, and Colorado losing early on to the Padres. What a great race that's going to be all the way to the end, including the wild card race.
1-2.
Trout 2 for 6 in his career versus Harris.
One-two. That is ripped to left field. Marvin Gonzalez almost came in too far. That ball was scalded. It's the third out of the inning. Stretch time here. Houston Angels up 4-0. Time now for the Nissan Game Break with Jose Mota.
And the Angels now 4-0 against Verlander and the Astros here at Minute Maid. And for the Angels pitcher, Andrew Heaney, making a 25th start of the season. He knew at some point he was about tweaking some things to get on a better path towards home plate. So what has he done? Watch direction, watch the pause, a lot of life on that fastball, and getting better break and late break on those breaking balls, along with the ground balls into some good defense. And welcome back, Angels RBI leader Justin Upton just activated after the Saberlids does a fine job going the other way. The Angels putting together some nice at-bats against Verlander and seal it all after Shohei with a clutch walk. Anderson Simmons, outstanding. He needs these breaks. He's finding him. He's making contact and also trying to stay back a little bit more. Angels clapping with Simba. This has been your Nissan Game Break. And before we go back to Victor and Mark, here's a message from Nissan.
Take a look at our Nissan out-of-town scoreboard. Cubbies beat the Braves, division leaders at this moment. And the Cubs take that game 1 against the Atlanta Braves, 5-4. Arizona and the Dodgers had a 0 close match. Just a 1-game lead over the Dodgers, a half-game lead over Colorado, and the Oakland A's trailing 6-0 now. 2.5-game lead for the Astros over the A's. Big series for Seattle. And Seattle right away jumps up to an early lead against Oakland 6-0. Only in the second inning, and they're still hitting.
Something tells me that game's not going to finish up like that.
If you're Seattle, you better think in terms, you better keep scoring runs because Oakland always comes back.
Hansel Robles takes over for Andrew Heaney here in the 7th inning. Andrew went 6 innings, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, no runs allowed. Robles will take on White, Gonzalez, and Gurriel.
Andrew Heaney with his solid effort, 6 shutout innings, 1.95 career ERA against the Astros.
26th appearance for Robles with the Angels. Tyler White looks to strike. He's the DH. 1 for 2. A fly ball to center in the second, single in the fourth. One ball, 1 strike. Last time Andrew Heaney allowed no runs in a start, June 5th against Kansas City at home. It was a complete game win, 116 pitches. As a matter of fact, tonight, just the second start. She allowed 0, zip, nada, to a team that is tops in the American League against left-handed pitching.
And what, his fastball, the best I've seen. Consistency with velocity and location. Talked about the need to stay on top of his slider, did so. Got some ground balls, got a couple ground ball double plays, and mixed in some decent changeups also. And Social really has to be happy what he saw from Heaney this evening.
Too good of a pitch on a 2-2 count.
Sometimes his slider gets a little flat for Robles. He can run his fastball 96, 98 range. If he muscles up on a slider, it flattens out to the barrel of the bat, especially with the right-handed batter.
Jose Alvarez loosening. So that would be for Reddick if we got to that point. Check swing did not go. Full count.
Yep, cross the plate on that one. Turn the body, bring that barrel beyond the plate. That's 2 tonight for Eric Cooper, not calling the strike.
Full count. White, this one out to center. Trout's got to go back on it a little bit.
Well, if you're going to get a fly ball here, that's the part of the field to get it, center field. Not quite as deep as it used to be here.
Took out Talus Hill a couple of years ago. Put it in a new batter's eye. Used to be a flagpole out there as well.
Cool area out there in center field now here, Minute Maid Park.
Little Torchy's Tacos. Marwin Gonzalez 0 for 2. Twice has struck out. A ground hit from the left side, takes a strike.
That real long at bat before striking out the second time against Andrew Heaney.
All 4 runs for the Angels coming in the 6th inning.
Still kind of surprised that they took Verlander out that inning. He wasn't real happy about going out. He's the ultimate competitor. As you can see, he's still not real happy about coming out of the game there.
Toward Anderson Simmons. And so Robles looking on. It's a good effort going back there, though.
Yeah.
2 down.
Generally, as a pitcher, you're trying to direct traffic. He thought about getting himself in position to catch that, and then Simba came in going, no, I got it.
Nobody on.
Let's go back for the fair catch, though.
Yeah. There's Yuli Gurriel, the first baseman, 0 for 2. Popped down in the second, and he grounded out to Fletcher in the 5th. 5 hits for Houston, 7 for the Angels. Up 4-0. A good pitch in on the hands, up and broke back. He's got to come in now. And Robles with a 1-2-3 7th. We'll head to the 8th inning. Angels on top. Sunday night baseball, and then it's off to Arlington for a 3-game set. We will have the Monday and Wednesday night broadcast. Tuesday will be on FS1. Off day in Chicago on Thursday, then 3 against the White Sox before returning home on September the 10th.
So possibly see Matt Shoemaker coming back on this road trip.
Well, perhaps see him as early as Monday against the Rangers. 4-0 Halos here in the 8th inning. Chris Davinsky takes over on the mound. Pride of Cerritos, Cal State Fullerton. Pitching in his 43rd game. 2-2 mark at a 4.19 ERA. Not quite as crisp a season this year as his All-Star campaign last year. Angels will have Upton, Ohtani, and Simmons in the 8th inning.
Let's have that plus changeup though.
Justin Upton, the Angels, the 1-0 lead in the 6th inning, punching a single to right field against Verlander. 1 for 3 tonight. There's that off-speed pitch. A 1. Davinsky last year 8-5 with a 2.68 ERA in 62 games. 0.942 whip. Throws that fastball by Upton. 1-2.
He struggled in the postseason for the Astros, but had an excellent season overall, regular season.
Missed off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Will Harris ended up going inning at 2/3 tonight. 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, all zeros. Gave up the big hit, the bases clearing double to Adelton Simmons, but none of those runs were his. That remains at 2-2. Up and in, full count. Shohei Ohtani on deck. Somewhat subdued crowd here tonight. 0-0 game until the 6th inning. Both guys threw the ball well. Verlander, Heaney up until that 6th inning for Verlander. Off speed, got him looking. Change up. It's almost the old Bugs Bunny change up. 1 down.
Such a good pitch for Davinsky.
You watch Justin, I mean, he gave up on it early.
Paints that outside corner with all speed.
This one's out to right center field, a base hit. Ohtani will turn, and we will stop right there. 1 out single for Shohei. Almost slips going back.
Well, he got up, brought those hands up and got that high pitch. Like the Hyundai key for this game, but Anderson Simmons with a big hit in this game with the bases loaded, continues to swing the bat well with the bases loaded this season. Little glory days. Stars coming through. Anderson Simmons against the bullpen for the Astros. Clutch swing, clearing the bases with a double. Now 63 RBI, 2-hit performance tonight by Simba. 309 batting average this season with runners in scoring position for Simba. Speaking of that long look down, you wonder if Shohei Ohtani could be on the move. He's got 6 stolen bases, been caught once.
One ball and strike.
Especially with a pitcher, there's a lot of off-speed pitches. Not a bad guy to try to steal against.
Pulled to left field, a base hit. Past the diving Correa. Nice effort, but that ball was already by him. Shohei gets a second.
Starting to get that timing together. Simba, 3 hits. Oh, the fastball brings his hands inside and lines that one past Correa at short. Piece of hit.
Francisco Garcia at the plate, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a pop-up. First 3-hit game for Andrelton Simmons since before the All-Star break, July 10th. It's a breaking ball off the glove of Maldonado.
Should end up being a pass ball on that one. Cut action to that pitch. Off the glove of Maldonado. 2 runners in scoring position, forcing the infield in.
It is ruled a pass ball. 1 ball, no strikes. See with the long glance down to Dino Evil, flashing a lot of signs. Two out.
Take a look at our StatCast AI powered by AWS. The defense now brought in 2 runners in scoring position. Increases your probability of getting a base hit when you're the hitter now with that infield in.
That's a balk.
Yep.
That is a balk. Did not disengage from the rubber, and you cannot fake to throw to third base.
Not anymore.
It's 5-0.
Two runs scored here tonight for Shohei Ohtani. The easy way on that one via the ball.
Joe and Bunt. Garcia bunts a foul.
Fred's position. Can't do that anymore. You have to step off. If you're going to do that, you have to throw and complete the throw over to third base.
I'm surprised why he didn't throw it. Bregman
Yeah.
was there. He didn't have a play, but Angels will take it, that's for sure. 5-0 here in the 8th. Showing bunt again. Get the out at first. Not sure I get that play. What Garcia was doing on his own. And if not, where Andrelton was at.
Yeah, that was odd. I mean,
2-1 situation.
Yeah.
Good driving that run, man.
Especially him because he can lift the baseball.
2 outs. Taylor Ward at the plate. Taylor 1 for 3. Big lead for Simba at third. 1-0.
Middleton looking down at Maldonado said, all right, throw it. So where Bregman's playing. That is well off the outside corner.
Justin Anderson getting ready.
Well, he made his debut last time the Angels went down, late April.
Foul back. Tigers ended up holding on 8-7 over the Yankees. Down goes Ward. That'll do it for the Angels. They do have a run on the box by Davinsky. Bottom of the 8th. That's where we're headed. The Angels up 5-0. In town, fans in attendance will receive a celebratory duck call while supplies last. For more information, go to angels.com/promotions. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Angels up 5-0. A couple of changes for the Halos as Justin Anderson replaces Hansel Robles on the mound. Anderson so far this year, 49 games, a 3-3 mark, a 3.54 earned run average, and 4 saves, 61 strikeouts, and 32 walks in 48 1/3 innings. And he will have a new first baseman as Jeffrey Marte takes over at first. Caleb Coward moves across the diamond to third, so Taylor Ward is no longer in the game. Eight, 9-1 for the Astros here in the 8th. Reddick, Maldonado, Springer. One ball, no strikes. Reddick, ground ball in the 3rd inning, walked in the 5th. Just making his debut here on April 23rd. In 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, had 1 strikeout. Matter of fact, pitching back-to-back games in that series back in April.
Series in which the Angels won the series here in Houston.
Reddick pops it up. Simmons calling for it. 1 down. Tony Kemp's going to pinch hit here for Martin Maldonado. Astros are looking to get James McCann back on Saturday. I guess that's when rosters expand. He's been dealing with an injury. Next, Stassi on the catching roster as well, so he will more than likely take over the 9th. Kemp looks at a fastball away. A nice season. It's his 75th big league game this year. 276 average. He's carried a 365 on base percentage. 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes.
Back-to-back batters falling behind 2-0 for Anderson.
Just below the strike, so 3-0. They will attempt to be settling in here in the big leagues this year, making sure that the list of goals, one of which was do not go back to the minor leagues.
Yeah. Makes you hungry to stay up here. Love to hear that.
3-0. That's in there for strike 3-1. Springer on deck. They get a taste of it, being around these guys, defending world champions. Have a little bit of success. You hope that it breeds some confidence. Kind of continue and have it roll. I mean, you can play a big part for them.
Do a lot of different things for you, help you win.
No doubt. 3-1.
Especially when you think about it, as a pitcher going against this club, he's going to be hitting that lower part of the lineup. You're exhausted when you get down to him, and he can sit on a fastball and drive it.
Very good speed. (3-2). Back into the count, and that puts the speedy Kemp on board. Springer coming to the plate, top of the order.
And that's the one thing, looking forward and moving forward for Justin Anderson, just to try to clean up, is that walk in his game. He's got such good stop. Just trying to find that consistent release point.
Springer 1 for 3, had a single back in the first inning. He struck out and hit a fly ball to center since. On 1. Five runs, 9 hits, 6 left on for the Angels. No runs, 5 hits, 4 left on for Houston. Opener of a 4-game series. Jaime Barria will be on the mound tomorrow night. Oh, 2.
Really good breaking ball.
Framber Valdez on the mound for Houston tomorrow. Left-hander will be pitching his 3rd major league game, 2nd major league start. His big league debut as a starter last time out against the Angels, and threw the ball well.
Just wild enough where the hitters weren't real comfortable in the batter's box against him.
0-2. Check swing on a sliding. One of the 2 hits that Anderson allowed that debut back in April was Springer on a fastball right back up the middle. Kemp over at first, 1 out walk. Long hold for him. Breaking ball. Missed it.
When you think about it, for the hitters for the Astros, they can't be real comfortable against Anderson. You know that last time he talked about it at the start of the game, that fastball up and in and hit Altuve.
Never know.
Especially when you're throwing that hard.
Justin trying to be very deliberate, especially on the hold with Kemp over at first base. Back toward the middle. That was an odd baseball. What a flip by Simmons. Fletcher turns the double play.
These two are fun to watch, I'll tell you what. They've turned quite a few double plays together. I didn't thought there was no chance at a double play. The quick flip, the step on the base, and gets rid of it. 6-4-3 double play.
But the 8th inning, first of all, Springer hits the ball kind of odd. A lot of spin on it, but what a communication effort by Angel DeSimmons and David Fletcher. The old glove flip to the second baseman. They turned the double play. Third one turned by the Angels this evening. That is all about communication and Fletcher redirecting back toward the base. What a play. Justin Anderson certainly happy with that. It's Chris Davinsky's back out. Gave up a run in the 8th inning. He's going to face 9-1-2. It's Caleb Cowart, Cole Calhoun, David Fletcher. McStassi back behind the plate, as we suspected. Caleb's over 3 with 3 strikeouts. 15 strikeouts for Astros pitchers tonight. But yet the Angels have a 5-0 lead. Reaching for the off-speed pitch. That's Correa with the shift on. One away.
Still even going back and that double play turn. That was a lot of fun to watch those two together. 97 double plays now turned for Simba. A real good turn too by Fletcher. Getting to know each other so well. Working on that. Here he is on deck.
Baseball instincts are pretty ridiculous.
Yep.
Cole looking at a strike.
Then you go back to his favorite player growing up, David Eckstein, the way he played, same thing.
Cole tonight 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored in the 6th inning.
It's a changeup.
One ball, 2 strikes. One, 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fletcher on deck. Blake Parker loosening. Down save situation. Just missed in. So full count. Double by Cole back in the 6th, his 15th of the year. And 9 hits for the Angels. 3-2. Line to left center field, a 2-hit game for Cole. Man on for Fletch now. Trout on deck. Hey, stay tuned to our Angels Live postgame show for the Auto Nation Business of Sports. Auto Nation, low price, no pressure guarantee. David, a 1-for-4 game. Had a single in the 7th inning. Pops this one up on the right side. Gurriel. 2 down.
Remember that line drive that Trout made out with the last bat. He crushed that baseball. Brady Gonzalez in left field coming to the plate now. What was it, 114 miles per hour exit velocity off the bat? That last one for Trout.
They squared it up pretty well. One for 3 tonight.
He's been pretty aggressive on the first pitch in this game. Early in the count.
Walk, strikeout, single, and a fly ball to left. One. Mentioned Shohei is going to get the start on Sunday. That means back to the normal routine of you won't hit on Saturday.
Yeah, you wonder if he'll be in there tomorrow with the lefty.
Yep.
I'd like to see him get a shot playing against some lefties.
Now back. One ball, 2 strikes. Upstairs, 2-2. Hit by Cole, the 10th for the Halos. Parker in the bottom of the 9th. Once we get there, we'll get Bregman, Altuve, and Correa, 2, 3, and 4.
Trout's 2 for 4 against Davinsky.
That is drilled out to center field. Long run back for Springer. He's there, makes the catch. We're off to the bottom of the 9th inning with the Angels leading it 5-0.
Enjoy a post-game Nick Jonas concert presented by Strikeout Slavery. Go to angels.com/promotions to get your tickets. It's the bottom of the ninth. The Angels trying to shut out the Houston Astros in the opener of this 4-game set. It's 5-0. And Mike Scioscia's handed the ball off to Blake Parker. He'll be pitching for the 59th time this year. 2-1 mark. 3.09 earned run average. This will be a non-save situation. He has racked up 12 on the season. 58 plus innings, 65 strikeouts. He's going to get 2, 3, and 4, the heart of the Astros lineup. And Alex Bregman will be the first man that steps up. Bregman tonight 0 for 3. Double play in the first, popped out in the third, and he struck out in the sixth. And here's the first one. Fastball, first strike. Oh, one. The ball missing way outside. Out to left field, just beyond the reach of Andrelton Simmons, a leadoff single. Andrelton pretty much did everything he could to get that baseball.
And that athleticism for Simba at short, and the hops almost got to that line drive. Just over the head, Bregman on a line drive. The Angels have turned 3 double plays already. The Astros hit into a lot of double plays.
Jose Altuve 2 for 3 with a double and a single. Lifted out to right, playable for Cole. One down. Here comes Correa. Parker trying to close it out for Andrew Heaney, looking for his first road win since 2015. Andrew tonight was fantastic. No runs, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Worked 6 innings.
His average fastball velocity was 93.1 miles per hour today.
Stay tuned for Angels Live postgame show presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. A busy day, busy 2 days for the Angels. Out of news and notes, be sure to tune in to Patrick O'Neill and Jose Mota. Get you up to speed on everything.
Patio back.
Two balls, no strikes. Correa's 0 for 3. Struck out in his last plate appearance. That's on the corner. 3-1.
One thing you don't want to do against this club is gift runners to him.
Lifted to right, playable for Cole. It appears. Yep. 2 down. So it's Tyler White coming up with the man at first. One for 3 game for White, the DH. Singled in the 4th. Bregman will take off, nobody holding him on, so he'll take second on indifference. White takes a strike. Garcia and Simmons are going to come out and have a meeting.
Runner at second. We saw that at home. Are pretty good as far as relaying location of a pitch with the runner at second.
Allegedly, of course.
Yes.
No 1 count. One on one. Man in scoring position, trying to keep this a shutout. 2 outs here in the 9th. 1-1. 2-1. Marlon Gonzalez on deck should we get there. Three and 1. That's out toward deep left center field. Upton pulls up. This one is gone. So no shutout tonight. Tyler White, his second hit. It's a 2-run shot, and it's 5-2 Angels.
Gives him now 12 RBI in his last 11 games with that 2-run home run.
Parker fell behind at 3-1 and came right back in there.
Part of the plate on a fastball. And White continues his stretch he's on right now where he's driving the baseball.
Like that 15 extra base hits since the All-Star break. Marwin Gonzalez now up 0 for 3 tonight. No balls and a strike. And in the back of your head, if you're Andrew Heaney, aren't you sitting there going, oh, please.
Yeah,
come on.
You're stressing.
Come on. Let me get this one off my back, please.
That way you don't have to keep answering that question about last road victory.
Over toward third. Caleb's got it. Off balance throw. Got him. Light that baby up as the Angels pick up the victory in the opener of this 4-game set. 5-2 the final tonight, Gooby.
Big story. Andrew Heaney picking up that first road victory since September 2nd, 2015 in Oakland for Heen Dog. Nice play there to finish that one off. Anderson Simmons with an outstanding game himself. Let's take a look at our Land Rover above and beyond player of the game as Heen Dog today. Best fastball.